I have some things to say.
You always have some things to say.
It's my show, damn it. Say whatever the hell I please.
Oh, of course, but even you would have things to say about Cinderella. You always have things to say.
I've criticized nature before. I can criticize Cinderella. So, wish that was a joke. Go watch the Disney Nature's Bear review if you're curious. But anyway, Sarah's here. We're here to talk about Cinderella.
Hello.
It's worth saying right off the bat. Obviously, I'm not the target audience for this.
I am. It's my favorite fairy tale, but I will admit I was a little on the fence about seeing this one because I've seen many versions of Cinderella. I saw the animated 1950 Disney version. I saw the Rodgers and Hammerstein's Wonderful World of Disney TV movie. I saw the Drew Barrymore Ever After. I've even seen an opera of Cinderella. It's in Italian. You should check it out. I recommend it. So I've seen many versions of this story, and while I know and love it, I didn't feel like it was necessary to see this. That being said, I do.
Did you like this one?
Yes, I will give them some credit for a few things.
Okay.
That I feel like they did right. One, Disney did do their previously established canon on this material justice with the last name of the stepmother, Lady Tremaine. That's her last name in the animated 1950s version, so that's a nice and respectful callback. Same thing with the cat's name.
Oh yeah, Lucifer, unsubtle as all hell.
Well, it's a cat in the Disney movie.
I know. This is back in like what, the 50s? So yeah,
1950, yes.
1950s. So fucking old. That point, subtlety was not a thing for Disney.
No, I mean, their main mascot is a mouse. Of course, they've rarely been kind to cats in their films.
There's gotta be a counterexample.
The main one that comes to my mind would be the cat in 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, yeah.
Or possibly...
Oh, the Aristocats!
The Aristocats, yeah.
Forgot about that piece of shit. Sorry, that movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, the best part about that movie is that Everybody Wants to Be a Cat song, because it's so damn catchy.
I dare not listen to it again.
I listened to it in 2010 when I was volunteering at a daycare center, and they watched that movie. That song was stuck in my head for the next week. Anyway, so callbacks to other parts of their Cinderella canon, as it were. I will give them credit on that. So another thing I will give them credit for, compared to most other Disney movies, we actually see the mother in this one, which you don't see her in the 1950 animated Cinderella, or in most other Cinderella movies, except for Ella Enchanted, but,
we don't need to talk about that. Moving on.
But you see the mother, the family backstory is established, so, and it's not as rushed as it is in the 1950 animated version, so I will give them credit there. And also, similarly, the love story isn't as rushed, so I will give them credit that Ella and the prince actually meet before the ball. So those were some things that I feel like giving credit where credit is due.
Okay, so is it my turn to be the asshole and tear this movie apart? Okay.
It's always your turn to be the asshole and tear movies apart. It's what you do. It's who you are.
Thanks. I feel so loved. I'm the asshole.
You said it, not me.
Fair enough.
I was just agreeing with you because it's your show.
True. I don't know. Between that and Muha calling me a racist. Accidental racist, that's what he called me. But anyway.
You do know that I love you, right?
I know. I'm just giving you shit. But, so...
I mean, I saw 50 Shades with you.
That is true. I'll take the ridicule. I mean, at least I took a movie you liked for once.
Yes.
this year. So there's
Yes.
that.
I'm averaging one review a month with you, so hopefully it will get better from here.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I didn't like this movie. That's not hard to figure out based on movies I actually have recommended. I just saw Run All Night and I recommended that one. So going from that to this is quite a dark turn.
It's better than 50 Shades.
It is. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Anyway, so where do I begin with this? I think because this damn story's been told so many times.
Which I admitted.
Yeah. This movie did not take nearly the risks it needed to take.
What would you suggest?
Well,
out of curiosity.
For one, make the main character interesting. Because this movie is 2 hours long. I know this because I was counting towards the end, because I was waiting for the damn thing to end. Because this is at least a half hour longer than it needs to be. You could have cut a lot of this shit out. And
that reminds me, yesterday I was watching the CinemaSins Everything Wrong with Cinderella, the 1950 version.
yeah, I think I saw that same episode.
And he, the narrator guy said, you could cut Cinderella out and just call this movie Mice.
Even then, okay, let's talk about that for a second too, because by the way, the funny part is when you take the animation out and all like the talking animals and all that stuff, when you have the character as bare bones, Disney keeps it true, fair enough to the character. Problem is, when you take out the animation, you realize there's really no character there. And she is just a shallow, ditzy little blonde girl who doesn't grow a backbone until the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Unlike the 1950 version, she actually did stand up to her stepmother.
Yeah, and even that felt pretty forced. I guess at that point she had no fucking backbone at any point in the movie.
I wouldn't call her shallow. I would call her stepsister shallow.
No, she's shallow too. She's flat. She is one-dimensionally. It's not interesting. Like they tried to add the parent dynamic to try and make it more interesting, but it really doesn't. At the end, she has two modes: happy and sad, and there's like nothing in between.
That's how it is for a lot of teenage girls.
But that doesn't make it. That's still not interesting. My point is, like, if you're gonna make me watch much more Cinderella than the original Cinderella did, oddly enough, at least make her someone I want to watch. Like, the prince, for example, is shallow as shit in the animated movie, but because the actor playing him in this movie is so fucking charming.
The prince doesn't even have a name in the animated version. He has a name in this one.
He has a name, and I was much more invested in his story, because I found him much more interesting and much more likable. Because he actually, had charm, charisma, personality.
Do you know who played Cinderella in this one? Because
I have no idea.
I could swear that I've seen that actress somewhere before.
I don't know. I just know she's there to look pretty and to cry, basically, for 2 hours.
Oh, and kill people with kindness, so to speak.
Oh, okay. I know, again, I'm gonna be the cynical asshole here, but I feel like that little motive that, by the way, they say about 500 times, in case you didn't get the first 20, which is the be brave and be kind and everything will work out well. I would like to add an asterisk to that little quota and say, be nice, be kind, stand up for yourself. Because that just says, that's what happens in this movie too, is that she gets stepped on by just about everyone because of her mantra, which is horrible, really. And my point is, like, I have nothing to cling to with this woman, and at best, she's psychotic. Because she's talking to mice. Very conversational. It made sense in the cartoon, because they talked back. So
yes.
That was fair. In this one, they don't say a peep. So when she's talking to the mice and she's giving them all individual names, she's even winking at one that's supposed to be the female mice, it's really creepy when you really took the time to think about it.
Well, it's Disney.
I know, but
I don't think about it that thoroughly.
That's what I was thinking of, though, because, like, it's unnerving. It really is unnerving with how peppy and like she is, and she's winking at mice. And I guess she sees the mice wink back. I don't know what's going on there. But it's really kind of creepy when you take the animation out of it. And all you're left with is really substandard CGI, which you think Disney could afford better. Because a lot of CGI wasn't very good in this movie. Like, the parts
Maybe they spent all of their CGI budget on the Frozen short.
We'll get to that, too. Yeah, we'll talk about Frozen Fever, because we kind of have to. Okay. This was so not engineered for me. Not even close. Like, the parts I even liked in this movie were the parts with the prince in there. Because, like, even, like, his entourage, I felt had so much more personality than anyone else, except with the exception of the stepmother, who's played by a genuinely really good actress, and she did a very good job with the material she was given. So. And
at one point, we do get the stepmother's character motivation, which
they attempted to humanize her a bit,
which none of the other incarnations of, or rather, none of the other film incarnations of this story even attempted to give her any character motivation apart from wanting her the best for her daughters and general greed.
They attempted to humanize a lot of the characters. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. Like, I really thought they could have given Cinderella a much more interesting backstory than what they gave her.
What would you write for her?
I would give her something other than parents. Because parents is like, that is... I don't want to say cliche, because it's Cinderella basically invented a lot of these dumb cliches.
Yes.
It's not interesting, because, like, even when the parents are there, it's so wish-washy, happy-go-lucky, there's nothing interesting there either. And by the way, let's talk about their dying syndrome, because I really have no other name for it. They just die, even though they look perfectly fine. Like, the mother, when she's supposed to be dying, looks fine. She may have, like, a cold, maybe.
Maybe she got cancer.
That did not look... Fuck off. That was not cancer.
You do know that this is...
I know...
placed in an era before current medical technology.
I'm aware of that. My point is, she looked like she got up, put makeup on, and was perfectly fine. Except for a shaky voice. That was the only indication that she was even remotely sick, was she's acting with a shaky voice. That was it. And then she just dies. And that's all last we see of it.
At least we see her at all in this. We don't even see her in most of the other incarnations.
Honest to God, I probably would have better if we didn't see her, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, at least in the original version, you can kind of chalk up to why she became the abusive victim by the fact that she was kind of raised that way, so it makes more sense. This one, it's like, I don't get why she doesn't just leave. Oh, wait, they explain why she doesn't leave. It's still kind of a dumb reason, because at that point, it's like, you have options here.
Admittedly, I did think that at one point when she rode on her horse to the forest, I thought, okay, so she has the means to go elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, like, not like anyone stops her. She can come and go as she please, so why doesn't she just leave?
Because it was her family home, and she...
Yeah, and I got that, but my point is, let's assume Daddy Dearest had a will. Do you really think he would have left everything to his bitch of a wife? I mean, do you really think? If we're gonna be nitpicky assholes about, well, I'm gonna be a nitpicky asshole.
Oh, you almost always are.
Oh, thanks.
Love you.
Just use that as a shield. Like, love you as a friend, but here's a list of every reason why you're a prick. And I was like, I will give like the guy who played the dad credit. Again, he tried to give subtext and substance to the role he was given, but all I could think of is, dear God, with that smile of his, slap on some makeup on him, you have the Adam West Joker.
Yeah,
his smile was creeping me out.
That I will concede, he looked kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I give credit where credit's due. I mean, I don't think there's any, I would say, bad performances in this movie. I mean, all performances are all around is fine. And as a standard fairy tale for little girls, it's fine. It's acceptable. But at the same time, it's so much style over substance. And it's to the point where, especially with...
That's most modern day folktales.
But this is not, like, for modern day, especially the story's been told so many times, do something new with it. This is playing it way too safe. This is playing way too generic. We've seen this exact version so many times. Why spend this much money to make the exact same movie we've seen at least 20 times at this point?
Which is why I was on the fence about seeing it initially.
I mean, like, I'm sorry. If you liked it, that's fine. But it's just one of those things. This is where I'm coming from. And my thing's like...
Oh, it's my favorite fairy tale. Of course, I like it. I understand where you're coming from in your critiques. They make perfect sense. But it's the material, it's the story, and
Like, but no, the story is different. It's much more grueling, mind you. But my point is, like, even if it's the same story, it's been told many, many, many times, you can still find a fresh perspective to look at it from. I mean, look even like Into the Woods. I don't like that movie, but at least they did something different with the Cinderella storyline.
it was truer to the grim version.
Yeah, so my point, I mean, I would say I need gruesome blood and all that shit, but do something interesting. Do something, I'm not, like, the most interesting thing about this movie is the fact that it has CGI in it. That's like, as far as I can tell, their only justification for remaking the whole thing is, oh, now we have CGI, we can do kookier shit, and we can make things flashy and bright, and...
I think that was basically their thought process for remaking it was, oh, we have CGI technology. We can make a live action version of our 1950s classic. I think...
that probably was it.
I mean, I think that was the long and the short of it.
Probably. If I'm being, like, yeah, that's probably what it was. And you can tell because there's so much CGI in here. And a lot of it, like, I'm not even gonna go over the story because it's Cinderella. You know the goddamn story.
Yeah, if you went to kindergarten in the United States, you'd know the story.
You know the story. I'm not gonna go over it. But, some of the CGI just straight up unnecessary. When Helena Bonham Carter comes in as the fairy godmother, who literally looks on, she walked on one day of set, shat out her performance, and left.
Yeah, she did look very spacey.
She looked spacey. She looked like she didn't want to be there. Even like her lines are a little bit like half-hearted, like, oh, right, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. All right, let's just go the Cinderella checklist of everything I'm supposed to do as the fairy godmother. Forget, charm and charisma. I like Helena Bonham Carter fine, but,
I actually expected her to start singing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Thank God this wasn't a musical. That made this a lot harder. Like, oh, gosh. And... Sorry, I lost my train of thought. This truck has a very loud engine.
You're talking about Helena Bonham Carter's performance?
Oh, yeah, and even when they introduce her as, like, the raggedy old maid who asks for kindness from Cinderella, she's wearing, like, this prosthetic makeup thing, and she looks really uncomfortable. I don't know if you noticed that, too.
I did, too.
Because, like, it's really stiff, it's really wooden.
All hunched, kind of like a turtle.
Well, like, even her, like, you can tell, like, put some prosthetics on her face that, like, froze her face in place. So she, like, couldn't really move her mouth or anything like that. And she looked straight up uncomfortable. Even when she went into the dress, she still looked uncomfortable for her entire performance. And, by the way, Cinderella just goes along with all of this relatively easily. Like, she goes, oh, but fairy gods wants this. Oh, yes, they do. Okay. And then, which is, again... That was the original movie.
Yes.
But that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's not an excuse. That was the 1950s. We couldn't do the shit we can do nowadays. I mean, especially that was animation. The animation back in those days were incredibly simplistic. Movies these days...
Hand-drawn.
Hand-drawn. And, like, movies these days are anything but simplistic in their storytelling.
Yes.
So there's no excuse to be lazy and haphazard about it, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
So that's what I'm kind of like, give me something I can chew into. Give me something... Make the main character interesting. When I'm finding more interest and depth in the side character who wasn't even given a name in the original, that's a problem. And also, why did Cinderella's name even need a gritty reboot?
Because it's the name of the movie.
Well, yeah, but her name is Ella, but then Cinderella was like a nasty nickname she was eventually given. I was like, why not just call her Cinderella?
Well, when...
Is there like an actual reason for that, or...?
Ella was her actual name.
Oh, was that actually way in the book?
Yes.
Or the story? Oh, okay, I did not know that. That's fair then. All right, fair enough. I will redact that point. All right. But yeah, like, the only part I really found interesting or entertaining, I should say, was the part with, like, the court and all the people in there, because those are played by fun actors who are all really good and really charming, and, like, they worked really well with each other, and that was fun. That was entertaining. Then you can go back to Cinderella's house, where you just have the obnoxious actresses playing the stepsisters who are just mugging and hamming it up for all it's worth.
Yes.
You have the stepmother, who, God bless her, is doing a good job in this role, but some of the lines are just straight up silly, too. I mean, like I said, I feel like a lot of these actors are trying to do the best they can with what they're given, but the problem is the content in which they're given is so outdated, and there's so very little effort to modernize it to make it interesting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Because give me a look like, I have a feeling you very much disagree with me. Or at least it doesn't bother you as much as it bothers me.
It doesn't bother me as much.
Okay, that's fair.
It's a fairy tale. It's a story. I'm not discrediting or completely disagreeing with what you are saying. And if you have any ideas for how to make an interesting twist on it, then I'd love to hear them, or write a script, or I'd put forth suggestions. But with what we have,
Your little kid's gonna like it fine.
yeah. If you have a little kid, they'll like it. If you still have a bit of a little kid in you, like myself, then you'll like it just fine.
Yeah, I just know it has Rob Stark in there, so I want Cinderella 2: The Red Wedding to happen for the sequel. You know what the Red Wedding is, right?
Yes, I haven't seen season 3 yet, but I watched reviews of episodes from season 3, so I know what the Red Wedding is.
Okay, good. I was kind of hoping that's how this movie would end. But that's because
you wanted everybody to die.
Maybe at least a few. I'm a cruel person. What do you want from me?
Everybody dies in that episode. What?
Spoiler for Game of... Oh, you should have seen it by now.
Why would you want every character to die?
Because I find them as, like, decently acted cardboard cutouts, basically. Why wouldn't I want them to die?
So the story could have a happy ending?
Fuck that. Most grim fairy tales do not have happy endings. Let's be clear on that.
I'm well aware, but that's why it's the Disney-fied version.
I know, and that's the problem with this. I mean, look at even Saving Mr. Banks we had a couple years ago. That was I really liked that movie.
I do too.
And that took genuine risks with the source material.
I love that movie.
And
I need to get that on DVD.
Like that. And granted, that movie is much more geared for adults,
yes.
But it shows that Disney can very much take risks with their material, and they're not afraid to do so. So the fact they're playing such a safe, just basically retelling of the exact same story. I mean, when you compare this to the 1950s version, it's about half hour longer, and that's really the only difference.
Yes.
Like,
well, I think
you think they could have done more with it.
I think since Frozen, they're trying to reignite the cachet of the princessy aspect of the Disney brand, and they're also working on a live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, which makes me sad, because Beauty...
At least that has Emma Watson.
Okay.
You know, Hermione?
Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm looking at Emma Watson. Anyway, that's Dracula's Gaston. Can't wait for that. That's gonna be fun. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's not for me. That's really what it comes down to. It's not for me. It's not what I'm looking for in a fairy tale. I'm not anti-fairy tale.
You're just pro grim fairy tales.
No, not even that. I'm pro.
You want everybody to die, of course.
That's only because I don't find anyone here interesting. That's why I want everyone to die. You're not worthy of your own screenplay. Just leave.
Write a better one then.
Just because I don't like something doesn't mean I have to write a better one. Otherwise, I have to write a million different screenplays for everything I've done just this year alone. That's like saying, oh, you don't like the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Write a better one.
Touche.
Yeah, so why don't you write a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles screenplay?
Because I hate writing.
I think I like it either. Actually, I kind of do, but that's for my own shit. I don't care enough about Cinderella to write a screenplay about. I really don't.
I've been told that I write well, but I'm my own worst critic, and it's such an arduous process. I hate doing it.
Yeah, it can be. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, and there was that one scene in particular, like when the bell tolls midnight and she has to get back to the castle. We had this really, really unnecessary, kind of chase scene where they're trying to get back and everything's converting back to normal.
Which is how it was in the 1950s.
But it wasn't this chaotic and needlessly chaotic. And by the way, let's talk about overreaction.
It did get rather. Okay, I will grant you the the midnight chasing did get a bit on the violent sides.
It was, yeah, I just felt unnecessary.
I was actually concerned that she was gonna get squashed from inside the pumpkin at one point.
That would have been an ending.
Yes.
Would have been at least a movie bit shorter. This movie did not need to be 2 hours long. That's another. This movie did not need the 2-hour timestamp this thing has. I thought this was gonna be an hour and a half max. I was not like. That's why I would look at my clock. I was like, "Fuck, we're still going? Shit!"
Until the wedding, that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Oh, wrap it up, guys! You don't need all the slapstick."
Although there were a few jokes that
there was one we both laughed at, which is I forget the actor's name, but he was in Thor 1 and 2 and Good Will Hunting. You know what I'm talking about?
I would know him if I saw him.
He was like the other evil court dude.
The Duke?
Yeah, the Duke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the professor in Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, same guy. Anyway,
He looks different with facial hair.
Yeah, I just recognize his forehead. I wish that was a joke.
Anyway.
There was a joke where, like, they're trying to, after the whole ball situation, they were like, who was that girl? Who was a mysterious girl? And then he goes, he went straight for the prince. Give her credit for efficiency.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, you got credit for one good line.
Yes.
Right before I went back to my sad, sulking face of, we're still going. Sorry, I'm such a...
At one point this year, you and I are going to see a movie that we are both going to like.
It's gonna happen eventually, god damn it. God fucking damn it.
Statistically, this just has to happen.
If you're in San Jose when Avengers 2 comes out.
Whether or not I'm in San Jose, I am being a part of that review. I've been waiting for this sequel for 3 fucking years.
Well, so have I. I'm the comic book fan here, for God's sake. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. We'll try to figure it out, because I got like 5 people that want this one. So I'm trying to figure it out. Give me a break. It's like herding cats. Yeah.
I know, but
Just stop staring daggers at me. You're making me nervous.
You're making me, I don't know,
I haven't seen that many bad movies this year. So far, there was like 2.
Yeah, that's not it. I'm going to be a part of that review.
All right, we'll just get you on Skype. I'm trying to make everyone happy. I can't figure everyone to come down to Monterey too. So it's. I'll figure it out. I got a month. All right. So anyway, I guess we should talk about the Disney short.
I'm in San Jose on Mondays and Tuesdays.
There we go. We could probably figure out something for that. So, yeah, let's talk about Frozen Fever, which is the Disney short that came up for this. I actually talked to a good friend of mine who is a big Disney fan, and he was saying, in comparison to the short, this movie looks like Casablanca. I took that's what I said, but it's like, compared to the short that came before it, this movie, Cinderella, is a fantastic movie. And I kind of agree with him, because Frozen, this short, is just clearly a cash-in.
It is, which...
It's a shameless cash-in.
Very much so, and I like Frozen. I put it in...
I do too!
I put it in my top 10 of 2013.
It's a good movie. Like, hey, you know that movie that was actually really clever, well-written, self-aware, and, like, actually did good with the Disney Princess franchise? Like, the Disney... Like... See, I'm not completely anti-fairy tale. I actually liked Frozen, and I thought it did a lot of things right. But let's take all the charm, all the self-awareness, take that out, and throw in every cliche, dumb, 6-year-old Disney crap, and put it in a 5-minute short, and you have Frozen Fever.
Yes.
And also a lot of unanswered questions to Elsa's power levels.
Yes.
Because apparently she's a god who can create life just by sneezing, and it's so far has yet to be addressed.
Well, she created Olaf.
I know, and that was questioned then. This one's like much more so, because she creates like billions of little snow people. So it's like, wait, so she can just create an army, and like it's just by having a fever.
Apparently.
So it's like,
Even Anna said that they come in threes.
So it's like, okay, maybe this will be addressed in the sequel. I don't. At this point, this feels like such a cheap cash in. This is just lazy, even by Disney. I mean, we had great shorts the last couple Disney movies. Like, we had Feast with Big Hero 6, and that was a fantastic fucking short by Disney. Before that, we had, what was the one that came out with Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh, it's escaping my mind. Well, I don't know.
Either way, it was, I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was the Umbrella one? Was it the Umbrella one?
No, the Umbrella one came out with
Oh, that was a Pixar one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Fuck, it's gonna, I know it's gonna bug me, but just say
the Umbrella one, I think, came out.
Oh, Paperman. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
The one where it was like 3D drawn, but like it was drawn, but had also was 3D at the same time. It was actually really unique and stylish and shit. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The one with the paper airplanes?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, look it up. Anyway, that was a really good one too. But then we go from that to this clear, just cheap, we're gonna throw cliches to the wall and see what sticks Disney short. And this comes down to is you kind of expect more than Disney than what I got today. And I'm not a huge Disney fan, but I know they can do better than this.
Yes.
That kind of just sums up my feelings in general.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my rant of the day.
At one point, we're gonna see a movie and you won't rant about it.
It's what I do. it's all I know. Turns into one of those. I'm gonna have a kid one day. It's gonna turn like that one of those drug commercials. Gotta see a video, videos like, where'd you get this? How'd you learn how to do this? I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it by watching you.
Okay, One Trick Pony.
Is that what that is? I don't know.
If it's all you do, then that makes you a One Trick Pony.
I guess. Oh, that really just makes me depressed. Great. Now, first I'm an asshole, now I'm a one-trick pony. And an accidental racist. So, this month has been great for me so far.
We all love you.
Alright. Sure you do. I don't know. One of them's gonna be gone. It's gonna be Wes hosting the show.
I haven't seen him in a review for a long time.
I know, he's been busy. We're gonna try to see if we can do like a sort of vlog series pretty soon. So, hopefully we'll get him back.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But he was busy with CineQuest.
CineQuest is over.
I know, it was busy.
Ah.
Yeah, was past tense. But now,
Okay.
now he's out of town. I'm assuming visiting his girlfriend.
Probably.
But, so yeah, I guess you want to talk about trailers?
Sure. We got trailers for what look like crappy movies, and
At home again.
and we got a few trailers for what look like decent to possibly good movies.
Let's see, we got Home, which I've talked about before. We got Age of Adeline, which unless it's like as batshit crazy as Winter's Tale is in, no thank you. That being said, I would not mind a Winter's Tale for this year, because I think we have yet to get something that oh, there was a SpongeBob movie. I take that back.
Okay.
That wasn't quite as insane as Winter's Tale was. But, then we got Pan, which I don't know why Peter Pan needs an origin story. But I just kind of want to see it for Hugh Jackman, because I can't tell what he's doing, but I know I just want to see it.
Yeah, that's one that I could take or leave.
Fair enough. I don't know, watch. It's gonna be amazing. Just watch. I don't know. I don't know what the guy playing Hook is doing either, because I can't tell what accent he's going for. But again, it's like, okay, Captain Hook is a minor now with an ER. Because they phrase that, minor, M-I-N-E-R.
Ah.
Not a minor like Peter Pan, but anyway, with a I don't know what I'm doing kind of voice. I don't know. It's bizarre. Yeah, we got Mall Cop 2 again. I couldn't give a shit about that one.
A different trailer, which Kevin James did.
Introduced, which is like
an intro for.
Of all movies to have an introduction, why did Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 need an introduction?
I told you my hypothesis on that, which is that Kevin James is more likable than the movies he's been in lately.
Yeah, what good movie has he done in the last decade or ever really? Because I've yet to see a good Kevin James movie.
I'll have to think on that and get back to you.
That's really sad when you have to think about it. I mean, Adam Sandler has a Punch Drunk Love.
And Spanglish.
And Spanglish is okay.
I like Spanglish.
I saw it when I was a kid. I don't know how it holds up now. Anyway, but we get a couple rays of hope in the last couple trailers. We got the new trailer for Inside Out, which I'm looking forward to.
I am too.
It looks like it's gonna be like, I don't know. I'm mixed on it because the characters, almost by their definition, are kind of one note. So be curious to see how they play that out. I really want Pixar to come back in their prime because it's been so long since we got a really good Pixar movie. And I'm a huge fan. Even though I liked Monster University, I liked it mostly for the third act.
I know.
Which was really good. Everything else was kind of standard college movie stuff. And of course there's Cars 2, which everyone knows my opinion on that one, apparently, since I'm now infamous for that one.
Well, at least you're known for something.
I know, right? Well, everyone, when the announcement for Cars 3 came out, I got, everyone going, I guess just expecting some loud outburst from me. I'm like, fine, whatever, I'll go see when it comes out, fuck it. But this one looks like, of course, gorgeous animation. It has Lewis Black playing Anger, which I thought was fantastic.
Yes!
Which makes it even funnier when he has a line in the trailer. He's like, can I say that curse word now? Yes. I don't think that was acting. I think Lewis Black just legitimately asked.
Probably.
Can I say fuck, please?
Yeah.
Then we got Tomorrowland, which...
You're very excited about.
Oh, yeah, it's Brad Bird directing that. Are you kidding? Of course I'm excited. He directed Iron Giant, The Incredibles, Mission Impossible 4.
Yeah.
So Brad Bird has yet to make a bad movie, so I'm excited. And it looks like there's a fair amount of imagination on that one.
It does, yes.
And of course that's George Clooney, who may be kind of a pretentious prick in real life, but I like his acting. So I'm excited for Tomorrowland. That's gonna be good. I'm hoping. Please. So yeah, that's it. You got any further thoughts?
No.
No? Okay. Well...
It's Cinderella.
Yeah, it's Cinderella. So if you're fine with fairy tales, you'll like this fine. If you're like me and you're hoping for something a little better from Disney, then you're going to be disappointed.
I keep telling you, you're going to be disappointed all these times because you keep going in with unrealistic expectations.
I knew, it's one of those things I knew I was getting myself into, but I just can't think of oh God, you could still be doing something better with this. But I don't know. Even my tempered expectations, I was still it's just a boring movie.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, I can expect a movie to suck. Doesn't make it any less of a painful experience.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, that's our... take that as you will, guys, and we'll see you all... what do we got tomorrow? Oh, God. Oh, right, we got Gunman with Sean Penn. So...
No, Joseph has seen that with you, right?
No, Muha's, Joseph saw Run All Night with me yesterday.
Okay.
So, Muha's checking out Gunman with me tomorrow. And then we're saying, fuck the Divergent series, and we're gonna see It Follows instead.
Yay! Fuck the Divergent series!
Because we didn't review the first one, so what's the fucking point of seeing the sequel?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so look out for those later this week, and see you all later.
Bye!